Are you struggling to keep up with rising costs on your fixed Social Security income? Well, here's some breaking news that could put an extra $450 in your pocket this year. Hi everyone, in today's video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about the new SSA relief checks coming in 2025, and most importantly, how to make sure you don't miss out on yours. Trust me, you won't want to skip any part of this video because I'm sharing some crucial information that could affect your payment eligibility. Before we dive in, if you're finding it harder and harder to make ends meet on your Social Security benefits, drop a YES in the comments below. I read every comment, and your feedback helps me create videos that matter to our community. And if you're new here, welcome to our Social Security family. We're all about helping each other navigate these complex benefit systems. Let's start with the question that's probably on your mind right now. Who exactly qualifies for these new $450 relief checks? The good news is that these payments are targeted specifically at Social Security retirement, SSI and SSDI recipients who are finding it particularly challenging to keep up with inflation. But there's more to the story than just being a benefit recipient, and I'll explain all the details you need to know. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, is this just another rumor, or is this really happening? Let me break it down for you. The Social Security Administration has recognized that despite the recent 3.2% COLA increase, many beneficiaries are still struggling with the rising costs of everyday essentials like groceries, medications, and utilities. This relief program is their response to the ongoing financial challenges faced by millions of Americans who depend on Social Security benefits. Speaking of cost increases, have you noticed how your grocery bill keeps climbing higher and higher? This is exactly why these relief checks are being implemented. They're designed to provide additional support beyond your regular monthly benefits. And let's be honest, with the way prices have been going up, every extra dollar counts, especially for those of us living on fixed incomes. Here's what makes these 2025 relief checks different from previous assistance programs. They're being distributed through direct deposit for most recipients, making the process smoother and faster than ever before. The SSA has learned from past relief programs and has streamlined the distribution process to ensure that those who need the money most get it as quickly as possible. But there's something crucial you need to know. Certain steps might be required to ensure you receive your payment, and I'll explain exactly what those are in just a moment. Many viewers have asked me about the verification process, and I want to make sure everyone understands exactly what they need to do to avoid any delays. Let's address another common question. When exactly will these payments start going out? According to the latest information, the distribution is scheduled to begin in phases starting in early 2025. The exact timing will depend on your Social Security number and whether you receive SSI, SSI, SSDI, or retirement benefits. I'll break down the timeline in detail so you can know exactly when to expect your payment. Now, here's something that many people don't realize: these relief checks are separate from your regular monthly benefits and won't affect your existing payment schedule. This means you won't have to worry about any disruption to your usual Social Security deposits. This was a major concern during previous relief programs, so I'm glad to see the SSA has addressed this issue directly. But here's where it gets really interesting. There are actually several factors that could increase your payment beyond the base amount. For example, if you're caring for dependent children or have certain disabilities that require additional assistance, you might qualify for supplemental amounts. The SSA has implemented a tiered system to ensure that those with the greatest need receive appropriate support. Let's talk about something that's been causing a lot of confusion in our community: the relationship between these relief payments and Medicare. Many viewers have asked whether their Medicare premiums will be affected or if having Medicare Advantage plans impacts their eligibility. I want to clarify these points because there's a lot of misinformation circulating online. I've been getting lots of questions about whether these payments will be taxable. The good news is that these relief checks are being structured as emergency assistance payments, which typically means they won't count as taxable income. However, it's always wise to consult with a tax professional about your specific situation. I know several viewers have expressed concerns about this affecting their tax brackets or other benefits. Let's dive deeper into the income limits, because this is where things get interesting. Unlike some previous relief programs, these payments are specifically targeted at those who need them most. This means there are income thresholds in place, but they've been carefully calculated to ensure that most Social Security, SSI and SSDI recipients will qualify. The SSA has taken into account various factors, including cost of living differences across regions. Here's a question that came up in my last video. What if I receive multiple types of benefits? Don't worry, the SSA has clarified that you won't be penalized for receiving different types of benefits. However, you'll receive only one relief payment based on your primary benefit type. This is important because I know many of you receive combinations of retirement, survivors, or disability benefits. Now, let's discuss what you need to do to make sure you don't miss out on your payment. First and foremost, ensure that your direct deposit information is up to date with the Social Security Administration. If you've moved or changed banks recently, this is especially important. I can't tell you how many viewers have contacted me about delayed payments simply because their information wasn't current. For those of you who manage benefits for family members or serve as representative payees, there are additional considerations you need to be aware of. The SSA has specific guidelines for how these relief payments should be handled in these situations, and I want to make sure you understand your responsibilities and rights. I have heard from many viewers who are concerned about scams related to these payments. Here's what you need to know. The SSA will never call, email, or text you asking for personal information or payment to receive these checks. If anyone contacts you claiming to be from the SSA and asks for this information, it's a scam. Unfortunately, scammers often target Social Security recipients, so we need to stay vigilant. Let's talk about some special situations that many viewers have asked about. What if you're living abroad? What if you share custody of dependent children? What if you've recently started receiving benefits? These are all important scenarios that might affect how and when you receive your relief payment, and I want to make sure everyone understands their specific situation. For those of you who typically receive your benefits by mail, don't worry, you haven't been forgotten. While direct deposit is the preferred method, paper checks will still be sent to those who need them. However, switching to direct deposit now could help you receive your relief payment faster. The SSA has made this process much easier than it used to be. Here's something important that not everyone knows: there will be an appeals process in place if you believe you've been incorrectly denied the relief payment. I'll be making a separate video diving deep into the appeals process, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. Understanding your rights and the appeal timeline is crucial. Let's talk about timing again, because this is crucial. While the payments will start going out in early 2025, they won't all be distributed at once. The SSA is using a staggered approach to ensure smooth processing. I'll keep you updated as more specific dates are announced. This is especially important for those of you who need to plan your budgets carefully. One question that keeps coming up is whether these payments will become a regular occurrence. While these are currently planned as one-time payments, there's ongoing discussion about the potential for additional support in the future, depending economic conditions. I'm closely monitoring these developments and will keep you informed of any changes. For those of you who have representative payees managing your benefits, don't worry, the relief payments will be handled just like your regular benefits. ensuring they're properly managed according to existing arrangements. This includes institutional representative payees and family members who serve in this role. Now here's something really important that I want everyone to understand. These relief checks are part of a broader initiative to support Social Security beneficiaries. This means there could be additional programs and support services becoming available throughout 2025. The key is staying informed and knowing where to find accurate information. I know many of you are concerned about how these payments might affect other benefits you receive, like SNAP or housing assistance. The good news is that these relief checks are being structured in a way that shouldn't impact your eligibility for other assistance programs. This was a major concern during previous relief programs, so it's great to see this being addressed proactively. Let's also talk about some practical aspects of using these relief payments wisely. While everyone's situation is different, I want to share some strategies that other viewers have found helpful for making the most of this additional support. This includes tips for budgeting, dealing with creditors, and prioritizing expenses. For those of you with outstanding debts or payment arrangements with the SSA, you might be wondering how these relief checks will be affected. I've received many questions about whether these payments can be garnished or offset against existing overpayments. Let me clarify the rules around this so you know exactly what to expect. If you found this information helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest Social Security news and updates. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any important announcements about these relief payments. Have questions about these relief checks? Drop them in the comments below. I do my best to respond to as many comments as possible, and your questions often help other members of our community who might have similar concerns.